We're about to discover one of the most underestimated concepts in trading that helped me and my community to catch this beautiful 1 to 14 risk to reward trade. And it's a concept that goes in conjunction of our strategy, announcing further the probability and the win rate every single time. And it's not a one-time thing. We do this every single day. If you guys see, and I zoom out a little bit, you can see there are a lot of markups and multiple trades in here. And the reason for it is because I do provide daily live forecasts inside my private community. Now, that's not something you need to worry about unless you want to join the community. If so, the link is somewhere in the description. But today is a topic for another video, which is me showing you guys the importance of this concept and how, if you blend that properly, will help you to catch consistent trades like this, and this. So let's get to it. So first thing first, let's go on a higher time frame and let's see what's happening on AUD, what it actually has been going on for a quite while now. So if I hide all this drawing, you guys can see. So let's start from here. Look at this. So every time any one of us we jump on the chart, the first thing that you should be paying attention to is what the raw price action is telling you. You see, a very common mistake I see many traders doing is that they jump on the chart and they have like thousands of indicators everywhere. They learn a lot of concepts, they learn a different theories, different philosophy whatsoever, and they start right from there. Okay, so supposedly people learn about supply and demand, right? They mark the demand, they mark the supply, and they feel like, okay, if price gets into demand, we're going for buy. If price goes to supply, we're going for sell. Well, unfortunately, ain't that easy. It's not the way it works. Okay, what I want you guys to understand firstly and most importantly is that when we get on the chart, every single one of us, we get just this. Yes, blank background with a lot of candles moving into it. And this is the first principle of the concept I'm about to show you, which is basically understanding the interaction between buyers and sellers. Now, it's something that seems pretty obvious, but trust me, when I'm going to break you down the trade, you will have a crazy aha moment. So eventually we know, regardless of any type of indicators, any type of markup that you can have on the chart, right, that market will always keep pushing to the top side and keep pushing to the downside. And the real question is, how do they do that? And how can we understand that to use that on our advantages? So for example, let's take this price action in here. We've been looking for a very long time just to go buy because we can see, right, everyone, including you that are watching this video, price actually be going bullish for quite a bit long time, right? But remember, whatever goes up, they must go down as well. But in order for us to understand when they're going down, we can't just randomly mark a point of interest and feeling like, oh, if price gets there, we're gonna be selling away from it. No, that's not the way it works. What you want to pay attention to instead, you wanna see how price behaves when it starts going near our point of interest. And this is the principle number 2 of the concept I'm showing to you, right? Now, what do you mean by how price is going to behave? So for instance, you guys can see there is a PO1 here. This is just a simple supply. Well, I call it simple, but in reality, it's extremely refined based on the understanding and the knowledge I teach to my people in the mentorship. But forget about it now. What I want you guys to see is that when price comes in here, you can see clearly that nobody been looking for any potential sell. We actually had a buy in here, we were looking for a buy in here, which eventually this one went break even, by the way. But the reason being for this is because if I hide again all the drawing, you can clearly see that we had a lot of momentum. All right, so this is very important, guys. Every time, it doesn't matter what strategy you use, every time when you're on the chart and you see such momentum kicking in, you need to ask yourself this question: where are we going to stop and what's going to happen next? So when you see price getting into the supply that we had, you can see clearly that there is no strength coming back from the supply, right? Price is not dropping, price is not dropping. If not, it's actually showing intention of going higher and higher. Now, what happens after that is that price eventually managed to get above the supply zone. And then at one point out of the blue, price starts showing some very, very strong momentum to the downside. Now the behavior started changing. You can clearly see, right? Again, let me hide the drawing. You can clearly see that price till here it's been going up, it's been going up, it's been going up, it's been going up, and then eventually here we have the first strong reaction that goes below this zone, right? All this zone in here, so it takes out the demand. Fine, this is the first sign. Then the second one, price tried to pull back higher, okay, and then boom, another drop to the downside. At this point, you can clearly see that this move never happened before, right? So if I zoom out a little bit here, you can clearly see that it never happened here, never happened here, never happened here, and then now it happened right in there, okay? Also, remember, price has been going up for a very, very long time. So it was expected at one point to have that type of pullback. But the real question is, how do we understand that? So are you guys seeing how I'm putting things together? So now that eventually we had this potential in here, and we've seen the actual price, okay, it started dropping to the downside, it started dropping again to the downside, showing very strong intention. We started to using the same concept and understanding inside smaller time frame. Yes, because market is fractal. It doesn't move just in 1 hour, because I'm in 1 hour now and it's doing this behavior only in 1 hour. So let's go deep dive into this exact setup right now. Let me show you how just understanding this simple concept could have helped you as an extra confluence, if not one of the most important confluence in my opinion, to catch this amazing trade. So let me go to smaller time frame. Now this is an intraday setup, right? So by the way, if let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so check this out. This setup, right, when we saw price coming into the supply, again, as I was doing in a high time frame, we wanted to see some type of what? Intention, momentum. We wanted to see price taking control over buyers. So again, now if we go to M1, from 1 hour to M1, you can see that we had a massive injection of orders in the market. So price is going higher, is it going higher, and then eventually taps to the supply, right? Remember, we did the same exact thing on 1 hour as well, but this time is a smaller time frame, and we are following exactly the same narrative. Price tapping there, we can see a very strong momentum to the downside. But hey, pay attention now to the timing. Look at the time. It's literally market open, market reset, right? At the beginning of Asia session. So right in there, you can see that this is not something we should be considering, because we trade mostly London and New York session. Of course, depending on where you're based and what type of session you prefer, but most of us, we all trade London and New York session. So there was nothing in there for us. What we needed to wait instead was the London session. So we can see overnight, price gets further in the supply and then it starts dropping again, right? Exactly as we wanted. Momentum, fantastic. And then what happens, all right, is that price approach almost London session right now, and we can see that there's a bit of exhaustion, right? So look at this. Here we had a very nice rally up, fine. That was kind of a red flag, like, okay, maybe buyers are taking control, but once price gets in here, we are having rejection. So now the question is, we have a rejection, what's going to happen afterwards? You see again, buyers kicking in. At this point, anyone will say, oh, maybe the supply is not going to hold anymore. Well, guess what? What we are looking instead was the confirmation of timing. And then at this point, we are on London open, right there. Look at this, 8 o'clock. Price kicks in a lot of volume. So if London intention is to go higher, right, and it kicks a lot of volume, you do expect what? The break of the supply, isn't it? It's just a simple concept. You expect this to break of supply. But guess what? It didn't happen. Suddenly, price started dropping volume, and then buyers trying one more time, and the real injection, right, started right in here. Look at this. Let me get in. Like, look at this. This is very important. Price behavior and momentum. Now that we almost reached the extreme of the supply, we have all the orders to the left that has been consumed, we can see that for a short period of time, price started rejecting hard in here. So right now is the ultimate decision for buyers or sellers to dominate and taking control. What exactly happened is that price initiated some orders to the downside. We can see with this volume, and the next thing you know, pull back and we take the entry. Now you guys can see that actually my stop loss right in there is above this high. Okay, reason being is because I left a pending order. But truth be told, look at this. So I left a pending order here because I wanted to give a little bit of breathing room within the space. You see this tiny supply in here. So sorry, hold on, let me show you this. This was the last point of validity for me, available for price to get one more push to the top and then drop, right? But guess what? And then eventually price steps in there and then it starts what? Melting. Now I want to show you something even crazier. You guys want to see that? Okay, so this is pretty much 1 to 15, and then if I would have placed the stop loss above that, that would be an easy 1 to 25 risk to reward trade. But that's not what I want to show you. What I want to show you something crazier is that this exact move like this, including also the target, is something that I explained and I shared with my community literally the night before. And here is just a little bit of that. So you guys can see, right? I was explaining them as usual, doing the forecast for the day after. So that was the 2nd of July. This is the 3rd of July for tomorrow. And then I was saying that this should be coming right in there. You see? Okay, so that was exactly the drawing I did them, 15 minutes. Now if I go back to the chart, again, look at this, 15 minutes, there we go. And again, if we go back to the target, look at the precision and accuracy. Okay, again, let me pull that up for you. Boom. This is the before. And this is the after. So these are the craziest things that we do inside our private community. It has only 15 slots available. Right now I got only probably few left. So if you guys are interested and you want to know more about it and you want to learn through my video daily forecast, then make sure that you check out on the description below. This being said, I'll see you to the next one with another hot topic only for you.